Hope you're ready. It's time for Decentralized Now.
So, I just pissed on my cat.
Okay, great. I thought you were like doing something really technical.
Decentralized.
Oh no,
yeah,
I was
urinating on it.
doing some stuff with the sound, and then I decided that it would probably be a good idea to take a piss before the show. And I went outside to pee, and my cat just like chunked across the yard at me, like right into my fucking piss stream. So I have to bathe the cat later.
My dog likes to hide out. It likes to hide out in the bathroom, and it does the same shit your cat does, but like when I'm in the bathroom.
Is it a golden showers lab?
I'm trying really hard not to.
Free the people, free the markets. Decentralized Now.
Season 2.
Hey, you're listening to Decentralized Now as we're winding down Season 2, and we have the CEO of Racism, Mr. Dusty Shekel, on the podcast tonight. So you may hear some opinions you don't agree with, but if you're too much of a pussy, you know how to turn the podcast off. This was somebody who I saw on my Facebook feed, and he just kind of came into my friend request somehow. I saw him post some like memes, and I thought it was funny. I sent a request, but I literally have thousands of people on my Facebook, and I don't know a lot of them personally. They're just shit posters, and you kind of collect these people. And I began watching the feed, and I saw him beginning to post about an event that happened in his life, and I thought, holy shit, that's crazy. And I've had this guy on my Facebook friends list this whole time. So I reached out to him to want to talk. Essentially, this gentleman, he lives in California. You're probably the only person I know from California, honestly. He's on the West Coast, and he was in a grocery store wearing the coronavirus mask with a swastika on it in protest of what he feels are, some unfair rules from Governor Newsom, which caused him, as you can imagine, some blowback and some potentially unfair treatment, at least I feel. So he's made news all over the place. I got tabs up all over the place. The UK, Canada, Israel, ironically. And except for a few articles, I don't believe people really gave him a fair shake. I think people really wanted to take advantage of the situation, and they didn't want to see things from his perspective and maybe ask why he did what he did. So I was really excited to reach out to him and say, hey, could we record what it was you were trying to do, what you meant by that? And so Shekel, that's what I'm going to call you. We really appreciate you coming on the program. We know it takes a lot. You have a lot going on in your life right now, and we thank you for coming to speak with us.
Hey, it's no problem. I'm just glad to talk to people that are willing to hear me out rather than just see what they saw on CNN.
Or TMZ specifically. Like I'm looking at the TMZ article.
Oh God, TMZ! What a joke!
It's ridiculous,
Wow.
dude.
Yeah, well, it's actually funny because out of all the early articles, TMZ was actually the most on it, including I think they actually included some actual quotes from the
News
and they actually
2020.
included the fact. Didn't they also actually include the fact that it was a protest?
Yes, they did.
They did.
I have it in front of me right now. They did.
So they were like one of the first. It's sad. TMZ is one of the first people to actually report that it was a protest, rather than all these other mainstream people that just reported it as some hate crime. I guess.
I remember it popping up kind of in my feed. And it very possibly could have been through Chemtrail's feed that I saw it, and I immediately recognized it as like satire. Like this guy is making a statement.
Clearly.
I mean, like he's not a Nazi.
You're wearing a Honkler shirt and a swastika at the same time. How do you not know it's satire?
Like, who would unironically wear a swastika
Didn't even read
mask?
the article.
Exactly.
So I didn't even read the article, and that's what I thought. I was like, yeah, well, that couldn't have been serious, right? Otherwise, Matt Moore would have went with it.
No one reads articles anymore.
The Times of San Diego, actually, their most recent article that I think I posted it in your guys' thing like a couple days ago, that's actually the best article so far, and they wrapped it up with a great conclusion. Trolls just want to have fun.
That's a great. Well, hey, so a lot of people might be listening and not kind of know what we're referencing. So If you went kind of in your own words, let's back up to the beginning and talk, in your own words, kind of tell us what happened. And then we're going to talk about what I think is really interesting, which is the media response. But kind of in your own words, tell us what happened and maybe why you did it.
Well, the liberals love to throw the term, Nazi out there all the time. So pretty much anyone who doesn't agree with the liberals is a Nazi. So, you have that in mind. And then, so I'm just going to the grocery store and I'm like, hey, I don't want to participate in this wearing these masks. It doesn't make me fucking comfortable. It's unconstitutional. It's not even a law. These are just recommendations that they come and they're like, oh, well, we're going to give you a fine because I'm not following your recommendation, you can fine me or put me in jail for 6 months. That's insane. So I always go into these stores and I don't wear my mask until someone tells me I have to put it on. So I'm thinking to myself, these people are acting like, quote unquote Nazis. And so why not throw it back in their face a little bit? They like to throw it out on, all the conservatives. Oh, all the conservatives are Nazis. Well, you know what? Sometimes the left acts like Nazis and they've been doing it for a long time. So I figured throw it back in their face.
Hashtag the fascist left, right?
Right? The fascist left.
It's okay when they do it.
Yeah, it's okay when they do it. Or, every movie that's produced by, Jews, essentially, they can use the swastika and make money off of it and use it to draw attention to whatever their cause is. And then,
That's a good point. That's a good point.
And so I wanted to draw attention to the fact that, our governor is Nazi Newsom. And I thought that the iconography would go right along with the name. And apparently a lot of other people thought the same thing because there was the protest at Huntington Beach where they had the big Nazi flag with Governor Newsom photoshopped to look like Hitler. And that happened earlier in the day, the same exact day that I did my protest. And that was at the beach. And apparently if you go on Twitter, I'm a coordinator that helped coordinate this beach protest.
Jesus Christ, man.
Yep. In Huntington Beach. I don't even know anyone in Huntington Beach, so I don't know how I could have. I don't even have that graphic on my computer. I don't know how I could have coordinated this, but apparently
everybody's so eager to virtue signal against, on other people and everything. Everybody's so eager to single you out so they could be like, look how great I am. I mean, look at the video that came out recently, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was clear.
Kneel down, put my hands in the air, and give up and tell you how great you are and how horrible I am for no purpose.
It's clearly like a sexy news story. It gets people upset, but it holds no value. You know what I mean? Like there's no depth to it.
But there was no one doxxed from the Huntington Beach protest because I guess the people that made that flag are already a political group, so there's no personality attached to it. And then you see all the. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I wanted to ask you this because, like I mentioned earlier on, you're the only person I know from California. So California obviously has, at least here on the East Coast, like a bad reputation for being, you got Hollywood and things like that. Very, very left wing. But it's a big state. There's a lot of people there. So what's your understanding of California? What's it like living under Newsom? What's the culture there?
Well, I mean, I shouldn't have chosen a swastika. I should have put in a little yellow star on my mask instead because that's what it's like.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
Look, I'm shopping in Walmart for underwear for my wife, and there's little trans kids over there giving us dirty looks. Like, we have a legit reason to be over there. I don't care if you got some mental problem. You could wait till the actual woman is done, all right? You're like some 115-pound kid. You don't need to be in the plus-size women section giving my wife a hard time.
No, tell me about that. Like, why were they giving your wife a hard time?
Because, I don't know, we're straight and we're over there and, because I was there with my wife in the section.
Oh, okay. Oh, because a man was there or something? They didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah, and so, I looked at the little trans kid and I guess they got offended. So the little trans kid came marching back with, his parents.
Oh, man.
Well, I mean, sorry. Her parents.
Its parents. I think the correct term is its.
Well, it could be there.
I mean, there is no correct term because some of them are fluid, so it's changing continuously. So there really is no winning.
Oh, it's because it's a cult mentality that they've designed here.
Yeah,
That's the whole point. It's
permanent
wokeness is
victim.
cultness. Yes, it's for them to be a victim is like a popular thing. Makes you a person of interest. In almost like a popular way.
I mean, if you've read Rules for Radicals by Saul Alinsky, it's all
Exactly.
to the book.
Yeah.
It's
No,
not
they're
very
following it to
creative.
the letter, man.
It's really boring. That's once you I read the book just to understand their mentality, and once you read it, it's just like, all right, this is so boring. I don't even want to talk to these people.
So, would you say that like this is this something that's new? Has it been in California for a while? Has it come specifically with Newsom, or is it something that's been going on for quite some time in California?
There's I don't know all the major families, but there's 4 major families that have influence in the state of California, and ever since they seized control, that's pretty much when it's going downhill.
Oh.
You have the Feinsteins, you have the Newsoms, and then there's the other 2 families that work with them a lot.
So you went and you wore this. You wore this the swastika mask, and I'm looking at the TMZ article right now. I'm going to get into some of the coverage, but I want to get more of the story. So, did you walk into the store with the mask on, or did you put it in?
No. So
go ahead.
Yeah. So like I was saying, I walked into the store with no mask on, and then within the first 20 seconds of entering the store, they come over and tell me to put my mask on. So I put my mask on, and then I point the camera at my face and I say, "Look, I got my mask on."
Oh, man.
So I just put it on, and then the old guy there, he was like, "I don't really give a shit as long as he's got a mask on." So then we're shopping for about 45 minutes.
You were in there for 45 minutes.
Yeah, the whole video is almost an hour and a half long. The whole video is an hour and a half long.
Wow.
And so we're in there for 45 minutes, and no one says anything to us. And then his name's Sean, I think, with purple or green hair. His hair is a different color every time I go in there. And I don't know. I don't know this guy personally, but I've known him since I grown up in Santee. I've seen this guy over the course of my entire life.
I think everybody knows a Sean. You know what I mean?
And so
fucking Sean.
I know he rides his little BMX bike to work every day, and his existence must be pretty shitty. So, so anyways, we're in there for 45 minutes when my childhood friend Sean decides to come up and tell me that I'm committing a hate crime by wearing my mask. And so I tell him, I say, I'll take it off if you want. But he's so angry, he doesn't listen. And he's walking off, and he says, "Oh, I'll get you a new mask." And I was like, "Okay, then do it. Go get it." But he never came back, and he didn't tell me to leave at all. So he said he was going to call the cops. And next thing you know, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes later, the cops show up, and you could see that interaction.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
I just comply. Yeah, 2 cops, a male and female cop, show up, and they're all puffing their chest, excited. They're like, "Ooh, we're excited." Racist.
Suddenly imagine the phone call, there's a guy who has something mean on his mask.
But I mean,
it's California, man. It's California.
I mean,
oh my god,
you can wear pentagrams and aborted fetuses on your shirt.
Hail Satan, kill all the babies. That's perfectly fine. Yeah, I disagree with Israel. You're a fucking Nazi.
Yeah. Exactly.
The content is supposed to be irrelevant, but nope.
And you could have people with their balls hanging out of their mini skirt and all kinds of other offensive shit. And it's
oh shit.
It's just I don't even know. There's so much shit that's offensive, and it's
ma'am, you're gonna need to pay for those tennis balls. Those are your testicles. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Are you smuggling some brats out of the store, man? Jesus.
You think you've heard it all? You haven't heard shit. Stick around for more Decentralized Now.
No, walk me through the cop thing. So you're wearing it for 45 minutes. I think it's funny the length of time because you look like you're just casually,
No
like
shit.
the way you're leaning.
Yeah,
the way
like
he's
I'm not even
leaning,
talking to nobody. I'm not talking to nobody. I didn't even like say. I didn't even wave to nobody. You know, I didn't put my arms in the air at 45 degrees.
It'd be hilarious if you did wave to people because you look kind of terrifying. You look like it's like a gas mask swastika with like really friendly glasses.
Yeah, right.
Excuse me. Do you know where the cantaloupe is?
Oh yeah, it's right over here.
I mean, I do the gluten-free thing, but that's like a legit medical.
Oh, okay.
You know, I was thinking of this interview.
But it does make me feel. It makes me feel more awkward, like to fit that hipster stereotype.
Well, can you walk me through? Okay, so you're doing it. You're in there for 45 minutes, which we're very impressed with. Okay, so the cops are called. So Sean calls the cops. Calls the cops. The cops show up. I'm looking at the picture of the cop right now. He's not necessarily an intimidating specimen. Walk me through the cop interaction. What was that like? What did they say? That kind of thing.
When they initially showed up, they were like really hostile and like.
Well, they're cops.
Like instantly, really.
Well, like, I mean, you know how they react to the swastika? It's like a visceral reaction. It's hilarious.
They fall to their knees and start bowing.
I mean, not to,
Yeah, it's like a vampire. It's like a vampire and a crucifix.
Ow. Must be a West Coast thing.
Not to interrupt you either, but I remember, like, I just wanted to say, I was thinking of this interview earlier, and I remember being a kid, like, we would do the Nazi salute and spray paint Nazi symbols. We weren't Nazis. We're just trying to get a rise out of people. We're just trying to piss people off, you know?
Well, I mean, I grew up on shock rock, Marilyn Manson, you know, like, I get the whole, you know, shock for attention thing. It's easy.
It is easy.
So what did they say? You said they were hostile. Like in what way? What were they doing to you? What were they?
Well,
did they get physical?
Crime or they just say you committed?
Well, I mean, they were going to try to arrest me for trespassing, even though no one told me to leave. Yeah,
that's
because
amazing.
they said
trespassing in a public store.
And I mean, in the state of California, it says, you know, the transsexuals have this protection where it doesn't matter what it's like the unconventional dress. So no matter how unconventional your dress is, they're not allowed to deny you any public store like that.
Oh my god!
Wow.
So kids don't matter. Basically what objectifying a child and making them see sexual behavior, even though you may not want them to. That's perfectly acceptable, but a Nazi symbol symbolizing that you're all a bunch of fucking Nazis. This whole thing is ridiculous, man. Like, I'm so glad I don't live where you do.
I'm sorry. They instantly virtue signal and like assume that he's a Nazi. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, given I could have put like Newsom on it or something, but you know, I wanted the full power because I knew what was going to happen. I mean,
now you say you knew it was going to happen. Did you know it was going to get to this level, or were you surprised about the?
Well, I mean, I didn't know it was going to be like a worldwide thing. I thought, you know, maybe the local news or something, but
right.
But I mean, we had the KKK guy like a week earlier. So
I want to share a funny experience for you. When I was searching for you, I just wrote California man, and then Google autofilled where's racist mask. So that's the first thing in Google. California man, where's racist mask? And
it's crime of 2020, right? I mean, that's amazing.
Or if you type swastika man, or if you type anti-swastika.
I hope I'm not jumping.
If you just think back to like World War II, you know, when people are actually wearing the swastika and committing atrocities at the same time, the level of shallowness and thin-skinnedness of these people is just amazing. It really is.
It's fantastic.
I hope I'm not jumping ahead too much, because I know Chemtrail, you said you had quite a few articles pulled up, but there was one article I wanted to mention. Is that okay, or do you want to hold off on it? Is that
yeah, if you want to drop it, but I do want to get the whole narrative in. But if you want to drop something now, I'm cool with that. But I want to finish the narrative. But yeah, go ahead.
I thought it was really funny that all the articles written about you, about all the people that stepped up and had something to say, it seems like Israel Today took it like the easiest on you. I know you said there was another article that wasn't too bad since then, but out of the ones I read, that was the only one I read where they were like, yeah, the guy protested by wearing a swastika mask. Like, that was the only ones that didn't call you a racist or a Nazi.
And they were like, we didn't see any ovens or any trains that he was like herding people into. Nothing like that. It was actually a lot better.
Well, I mean, it's not like I was goose stepping or saluting the store. Like, you know, all I did is just wear it like a billboard, and then
Hey, hang on, take my flag.
yeah, and they're like, "Why are you doing it?" And I'm like, "Because Governor Newsom's Nazi Newsom."
Well, one thing I want to point out too is that there's been a lot less property damage, a lot less dead people, and a lot less burned down churches at your protest than the protest for George Floyd. I just want to put that out there.
Oh yeah,
I mean, you're a Nazi, yet destroying people's actually killing people. Not Nazi.
Yeah, they beat like you didn't beat people trying to defend their stores. Like let's put things in perspective here.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's like
Well,
one guy. I get investigated for a hate crime for wearing a swastika on my face, and these guys are out actually committing hate crimes against white people defending their own privately owned businesses. And how many of them are going to get invested for hate crimes? Like, that's an actual hate crime.
Dude, they're actually saying that if you shoot somebody defending your own business, if you shoot someone defending your own business, they're saying it's murder. Yet these motherfuckers are going in and kicking people to death defending their own stores, and it's like, oh, we're not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, but I print out a little thing and put it on some polycarbonate and Velcro it to my mask, and I am investigated more, and my name is worldwide, but not one of these guys out committing a hate crime in this protest, not one of them is going to have their name published.
Well, they actually let them out of jail too. In many of these states where they were arrested, they will release them later because they said, well, they were protesting, not rioting. Meanwhile, the people's buildings who they burned down can't claim insurance because guess what? They'll riot, like.
Well, one thing that they'll do too is Antifa will crowdsource. So it's like, because that happens at a lot of their events, they go into the slink, but they have bail. They've got wealthy donors who can, put it into like their Patreon, and they can just pay the bail, and you're good to go. But let me give you some pushback here, just for the sake of the podcast. So let's say there's some people in your community who, aren't subjective, but they see this flag on your face as a symbol of, white supremacy. They see it as a symbol of, if they're of Jewish heritage, maybe a symbol of, something against their people, against their ethnicity, and they're just trying to go to the store to buy some macaroni and cheese. They might not want that in their face. Do you think that you have like some sort of responsibility, maybe not to just kind of piss people off in your community? Like, what if somebody has that kind of a perspective, saying that you have some sort of social obligation not to do something like that? How would you respond to that?
I think that there's a lot of people that do a lot of things that would benefit from that thought process, but unfortunately, there's a lot of people that don't take me into consideration, or people with conservative values into consideration.
No, fair enough. I
they're saying, I grew up in California, and I don't have a problem with the LGBT community. They can do whatever they want in the privacy of their own homes. But I think that there's a lot of people who don't agree with their lifestyle choices, and to force everyone to witness their lifestyle in public, parading up and down the streets in very degenerate manners but I can't, I just simply can't exist as is.
Yeah.
That's just kind of a thing where they want to be able to parade, but you're not even allowed to walk out of the house.
Yeah. I can't even.
Bad just for being born the way you are.
I can't even go to the grocery store with an offensive symbol on my mask, but people can wear pentagrams and all sorts of other,
It is
clear.
I don't have anything against pentagrams. Metal's fine with me. I understand.
But let's be clear. So, for the record, because people are seeing this and they're like, "Wow, why were you wearing this?" Well, you're not trying to promote a political party in 1940s Germany. What you're trying to say is that there are oppressive policies being enforced by the state of California and Government Newsom. That officially, that's what you're trying to say. Is that right? And that's what people are just really missing.
Yeah, 100%. I think that there's a lot of people that have fantasies about reviving, World War II Germany, but that's not what I'm about.
I mean,
They
like,
like
that's what I always hear,
I mean-
that there
I
are
mean,
so
you have-
many people who are Nazis walking around, and I'm like, you'd think that there's like parades of like goose stepping dudes in a
That's
bunch of different
right.
places in America.
I've
But to
made
be
that
honest,
comment before,
never
man.
ever seen that in my whole life.
you could see like the ignorant skinheads. Like I view a lot of the skinheads as really ignorant. Like
Is
some of
that
them
more
might-
there in
some
like California? Because that's what I'm curious. Is like, is there some sort of backlash because there's such a heavy, push toward identity politics that there's
No.
been like a whiplash effect, and now there's more skinheads maybe in that state too.
No, I think that it's just like me. They see a swastika, and it's like, oh shit, sound the alarms, woo woo woo, we're all freaking
See,
out.
that's what I think too.
Well, they're all
actually. I
looking
don't
for a
think there
reason to
really
get
are
pissed off
kinds
anyway.
of goose stepping Nazis everywhere. I just don't think they're really out there. But they say it. They say this all. Look at this.
The only
Tons of
Nazis
these dudes everywhere. Just
Sorry.
oh no, go ahead.
The only Nazis I know are feds glow posting on the internet. Like
Yeah.
those are the only
Or
Nazis.
Antifa and the Democratic Party.
I was going to say the
yeah,
only
but-
Nazis I can think of are in the Senate, Congress.
Yeah,
That's where the
But I
fucking
mean-
Nazis are.
I mean, but that's just like we're throwing around Nazi like it's some kind of derogatory term, like maybe to the liberal left, but there's actually people. If you
They
look at
forget that
the values,
Nazis were
Christian
socialists.
values, and everything else.
Free the people, free the markets. Decentralize now.
There was an article we talked about on the program earlier in the season where, and it may have been California. I believe it was like an alt-right fascist group. They had put a banner over a highway, and the banner said something very innocent. I mean, their message isn't something I necessarily agree with, but I'll defend to the death their right to say it. And these motherfuckers flipped out. They were just like, like, hey, go to our website, find out more about us. And these motherfuckers acted like they hung a fucking black baby over the highway, man. Like they just lost their fucking minds, dude. I mean, even if someone, I don't agree with fascism. Obviously, I'm not a fascist myself. I'm not a Nazi, but I believe they have a right to express themselves just like everybody else.
Well,
It's so
on that
interesting.
topic, go ahead, everybody.
It's just interesting that if something's offensive, but it's okay with the large group of, you know what I mean? Like just what we classify as offensive and not offensive. Like I would see it's offensive to see people walking up and down the street almost naked. Oh, I just suck dick. Like I don't want my kid to see that. You know what I mean? That's offensive to me. But I'm a fucking piece of shit if I say that type of stuff bothers me. It's ridiculous.
Only because of the color of your skin do they say that about you.
No,
They
that's probably
wouldn't
true.
say that about you if you were part of their tribe, but
Or
and I don't
if
mean
you're-
that in like a racial sense.
Yes,
I mean, like
I know
tribe-
what you mean. Yes. Yeah.
Like, like,
Well,
Like, 'cause
busted. Go ahead,
The
buddy, go ahead.
Muslims can be openly anti-gay and
So no shit, right?
do you see these signs right now? They're saying, second, they're saying CLM. Basically, they're going like, look, we need to arm black communities. And I'm like, wait, a couple weeks ago, basically a couple months ago, maybe before Corona, weren't we saying, oh, you shouldn't arm? Nobody should be allowed to have any weapons. Now that whole just boom, argument's totally reversed.
I hope there's a lot more legal gun owners that are African American.
There was a meme, Islam is right about women. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
That's
So
so
people-
fucked.
Islam is right about women, so they either have to go, no, Islam isn't. Oh, what do you hate Islam? Well, no, Islam's okay. Oh, what, do you hate women? So they
There's only
didn't know
one
what to do
thing.
with it.
There's only one thing that unifies all these different tribes within the Democratic Party right now, and that's the word Democrat. Nothing else unifies them. All their ideologies are split in different directions. They're
And
actually
they hate-
counterintuitive.
And they all hate white people.
They do all hate white people,
I mean, that's the bottom
There are
line.
white people that hate white people too.
and they hate the traditional
both hating.
family. They don't
It's
want you to. Sorry.
It's 100% destruction of the nuclear family. It's like the agenda.
It totally is, man. I mean, I mean, a man and a woman can't get together and have a baby. They should adopt, and if they don't adopt a black kid, then they're fucking racist. It's fucking
And I'm
retarded.
really proud.
Has anyone said that? Has anyone said
really
if you
proud
don't
of the-
adopt a black kid, you're a racist?
I don't know. I just said it.
Go ahead, Shekels. Go ahead.
I lost my train of thought.
Oh,
Sorry.
fuck, dude. I'm sorry, but I want to jump off. I want to get back to the narrative and jump off something Busted said. Busted quoted Voltaire. I may not agree with you, but I'll die for your right to say it, kind of a thing. So we talked about you went in, you wore the mask, the cops were called, and we kind of talked about your reasons for doing it. Obviously, you go home and you said yourself. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, what happened next after the cops? Why don't you walk us through
so
that?
the cops are there, and I tell them that I don't really want to give them my information because I'm not being arrested or detained or whatever. And they said that if I didn't comply and give them my name and address, that I was detained and I would be arrested.
Wow.
And that's the only reason my name or any of my information's in the video is because they forced me to comply. They said if you don't tell us, you're going to be arrested.
Is that
Were you recording them?
Yeah, I had them on my body cam the whole time, and I have the unedited video footage because I tried to cut it out of the video that I posted, so that way it's not all in there. But I accidentally let part of my name in there, so that got.
I bet you if they actually arrested you, so you'd be like, "Fine, arrest me." It would have been a wrongful arrest in Wall's eyes. I bet you would have ended up the victor of that, little skirmish.
Well,
yeah, I mean,
because it says online. It says that if there's some kind of dispute like this, as long as I'm being peaceful and not causing a ruckus, they're not supposed to intervene.
Yeah, we all know cops don't follow that rule.
No.
But I mean, neither did the business. This whole thing is like an institutionalized setup.
Well, that's what I think so great. It's like the business is like, you have to wear a mask to come in. Well, this is my mask. Fuck. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
We'll tattle on you.
It's so fucked.
In fact, they don't even tattle about that to me.
There was people in the store who actually were not even wearing their masks. They had them pulled off completely, and we're like, "Hey, those people are actually breaking your little Nazi rules. Why don't you go enforce it over there?" And not even interested. And I'm just like, I'm wearing the damn
rules
mask.
for thee, but not for me, man.
Yeah. And so they basically forced me to comply about that, and then I complied. I gave them some attitude. They wanted to take my picture, so I was like, "Do you want to take a picture of before and after?" So I put it back on. I was all excited for them. They took my picture with the mask on, then I took it off, and then they wanted me to take my mask off, which I gave them a hard time because I was like, I thought we were supposed to have our masks on. So
that's the funny thing. Everybody stay inside. No. Everybody go protest. Protest now. No, riot.
Yeah, so I took my mask off, and then we took we did our photo shoot, and then, I told them, have a great day, talk to you later. And then, so we go up to the front of the store. This is the best part of the whole trip. So the little snowflake manager guy is working a check stand all the way down at the end, and there was no one in his line. So my wife's like, we're going to go in his line. And so we made him check us out, and he was
yes,
super friendly. And that's in the video. And then at the very end, I turn around, I tell him, I was like, have a great day, normal. And he's just ignoring me. So then I turn around and I just yell at him super loud. I'm like, have a great day. And then we walk out like a boss. So.
Yeah.
So
it was fantastic. So we got our protest, we got the cops called, we got world famous, and we didn't actually get arrested. So mission complete.
Yeah, no, I'd say so. Mic drop, man.
Well, let me talk about the world famous part. So, okay, you walk out like a boss, and you even know yourself that, hey, I might get on the news, local news, but you went everywhere. So tell me about go ahead.
When we were in the store, when we were talking to the cops, there was already a reporter down there at the end eavesdropping.
Jesus Christ!
And if you
Or do they
look at
seriously
my
have nothing better to do?
if you look at my video, you can see her walking back and forth at the end of the aisle behind the female
Oh,
cop.
wow. I'll never move.
What do you think the cops brought her in?
That's what I was gonna ask.
No, we think that she was already in the store because she just lives there locally, and then, yeah.
She's like, I got a scoop. Racist in store. World headlines. I'm gonna make some money.
Yeah. And I think she tried emailing me her article, and I told her that it was trash and she should work on proofreading it.
So
Because it was just terrible.
Well, let's talk about the terrible articles. So you go home. Tell me about the news backlash. Like, what was it like seeing yourself in all these articles, and what was the reaction to you? And of course, you don't have to give us all the details.
Yeah.
I know there's some stuff you want to leave out, but what was that experience like?
Well, the news articles really weren't that bad because, we all know it's fake news anyways all over the media. You can't really believe anything you read online anyway. But it was shitty having all my friends and family be like, "You're the super Nazi." A lot of them know. A lot of my friends and stuff know, satire or whatever. But people we know, like Walmart employees and stuff, they used to be really nice to us, and some of them, they just avoid us like the plague and are really rude to us now. And it's like they had no problem being our friends for the first 5 years I lived here, and now all of a sudden, because they saw me on the news doing something, they never even took the time. And it's like, but you've had no problem with me the rest of the time we've existed.
Tolerant left, man. They're so tolerant, accepting of everybody who they agree with.
And then, people I don't even know, like on Facebook, are posting my websites. I got shut down from 4 different website companies now, like the ones where you can just submit your design and they just like drop ship it to people as they buy them. And so I'm banned from those, and apparently Honkler. I'd just like to shout out to 4chan. Operation Honk or Operation Honkler is a success. 100% success. Yeah. So Honkler is officially a hate symbol now. You'll get, it's against their terms of service.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
That clown, the Honkler clown that I print on my shirts, I don't try to take credit for that. That's just Operation Honkler. So, yeah, that is officially a hate symbol. They publish that. So I've gotten thrown off of 5 different platforms for that.
Wow.
And it's just a joke. Like, could you imagine going into like one of these dark, seedy bars or wherever these actual skinheads hang out, and
it's a bunch of honklers everywhere.
You want to see my Nazi tattoo? And they bust out the fucking honkler. Like, that's not gonna happen.
A little green frog.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. But if it
They're
did,
all making okay symbols at each other and shit.
Yeah, like that's not ever gonna happen. Like,
did bowl cuts and shit like that too, where so like they all have bowl cuts and
the Dylan Roof, the Powerball.
It's a new skin hunt thing.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Yeah. So, I'm really proud of them. But at the same time, it's shitty because now, it's a hate symbol. I've had problems, with even my hosting for my website. As soon as I put up a graphic of the shirt, banned. So that's not been fun. But, I do it myself now. So I have my own, deal. I print the shirts. I press the shirts, cool. I mail the shirts, I do it all myself, and then I do all the invoicing myself, and it's slower, but more satisfying, I guess, more personal.
Yeah, man.
And look, let me do this. So yeah, if people are listening and they want to buy your shirts or want to browse your merchandise, how can they do that?
Well, I have 2 websites. One right now is the main one is just heartspin.com, which is HARTSPIN.com. And I just own that domain, and I point it at wherever the contact form is for shirts. So they just put whatever shirt they want in the comment at the end, or if they just want more information, they could get it all there.
Okay, cool.
Do you sell a T-shirt? Do you sell a T-shirt of yourself wearing the mask?
Oh, I could, whatever people want. I do custom shirts too. You can just put a custom shirt in the request, and it's not too crazy. I won't even charge for the custom print. But if you want something 100% custom, then we work something out. But
that'd be a cool decentralized now shirt, like just his mug with the Nazi mask, and it says, "I don't agree with what you say, but I'll die for your right to say it." That'd be a badass T-shirt.
Yeah.
I'd wear the fuck out of that.
Hashtag the tolerant left.
Yeah, and I made a graphic with the honkler in the center of the swastika instead of the swastika. You just put decentralized now and that text around it.
Are you enjoying the podcast? Just kidding. We know you are, and you're welcome. You're listening to Decentralize Now.
Well, let me ask you this, because this is something they've actually tried to do to us. They, like, some people have and I'll kind of maybe share some stuff with you too. But they've found some things we've posted or whatever, like a joke or whatever, and they've tried to like get us fired from our own podcast. It's actually happened a couple of times. So that's what they'll do. Like we need to in 5 years, Busted, we need to just like have a slideshow of all these like text messages. They're all from women too.
They're all these nasty looking
Karens.
orange green haired women that you can smell through the computer.
I mean, it's actually great because, coronavirus has made me unemployed. So I have a lot of free time and unemployment.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how did they take these websites? Then what I was trying to go with that is that it seems like they have a real economic warfare strategy.
Well, they
they'll
just
find
reach
your
out
livelihood. Yeah, go ahead.
They just reach out to like whatever customer service, and they provide a link to your thing, and they're like, "Hey, this guy is a racist, and he's using this racist symbol, and you guys are selling his shirts." And then they just terminate your product is usually the first email you get, and then about an hour later you'll get one, "Oh, we deleted your account too, by the way." And then the most ridiculous one, the biggest one, was when they deleted my app off the Google store. They said,
That's why I won't use Google Drive.
Yeah, so my app was like basically a honkler, and it says Clown World. The loading screen had a link to my website, and then it had like a little ad on the bottom or whatever. And you just click on Honkler's nose, and it makes a honk honk horn sound, and that's it. That's all it does. And that was removed for hate speech.
So racist.
Yeah, and
That's why I totally disagree with hate speed.
I'm uncomfortable even talking about
anything I want is hate speed.
and it wasn't even a popular app. Like, I just did it as like a little side project to see if I could use UDK to like make a basic app that could do one function and then publish it myself 100% of the way. So that's all it was. And I was like, now it's hate speech because it honks, I guess.
Now, like some people who might go through this or experience it, maybe they're listening to this years in the future, or they've said something that was sexist, or they get hit with this kind of thing. What's your advice to them? How have you kind of recovered?
Well, so far it's just thank God for coronavirus, essentially, because I don't have to worry about income or getting fired right now because I'm unemployed. I just have everyone's getting the same amount of money right now. Your X amount for unemployment plus the 600 for the federal for the self-unemployment.
So basically, if you're going to be a racist, just do it in a pandemic.
I mean, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You're unemployed. You have no accountability to any employer. They can't touch you with that. So, carpe diem.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew, like, there's a theory. I don't know the whole theory, but basically they see one person dancing. And the one person dancing, they're cool, they're doing it, but it's the second person that joins in that causes everyone else to join in. So I figured,
mob mentality.
I figured the first guy did it. Now I'm going to be number 2, and that's just going to instigate the whole chain of events. But
yeah, we just need 1 million people putting 1 million honklers on their wardrobe.
Yeah, I mean,
that's exactly what we need. No, seriously, I mean, everybody should say something offensive to be like, look, free speech, it matters. More than your sensibilities.
And it's not even offensive because honkler is, a Kierkegaard thing. It's, talking about, hey, the world's burning down and you guys are just thinking it's a joke, like I'm some kind of clown. And we're here telling you, wake up. The world's on fire.
It's easier to get people pissed off about stuff like the Nazi mask and offensive words. It's easier to get them on board with banning them and getting rid of them so that later they can say, "Oh, you don't like the police, you don't like the government, you don't like this. Well, now you're being arrested." It's easier to take your freedoms away if you can get them all on board with some sort of pretense of bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
I was told.
InfoWars.
I was told something once when I was in school, and it was like, you can lose every single one of your rights, all of them, but if you can keep the First Amendment, that's the most important one, because with that one, you can get all of them back. I mean, not to say I want to see any of them lost, not to say it would be easy to get any of them back, but without that First Amendment, without the ability to say whatever you want without repercussion, you do not have that ability, and we don't. Today, we're at a point where they can erode our liberties, but there's nothing you can say about it because you'll just get shadow banned or outright to jail.
So that's like my new life philosophy is, if we're going to be banned on the internet and I'm not allowed to talk about things on the internet and I'm not going to be allowed to share my memes on the internet, then I'm going to put it on my shirt and I'm going to wear it in public where you can't ban me. But apparently they can, so.
It can, yeah, because that's the tolerant left, man. There we are. That's where we're at.
But
it's not just the left
fascism.
too. I mean, it's the left and it's the Republicans too. The Republicans will do all kinds of shit. I remember back in 9/11, they were banning all. It's the whole system. It's the government as a whole.
They always were. It's true. But I think honestly, though, over the last few years, the Republicans have been victims of it so much. Of that same thing. They have moved slightly to the left here. They've sort of, in a way, become more libertarian as a result of it.
The real victims are the nationalists, not the conservatives. Because anyone who talks about Zionism or how shitty it is for our country is banned by the right and the left.
Oh, we got banned. We got an episode banned from YouTube for talking about Zionism and Judaism and Israel.
And right now, boom, we're probably right there. I'm sorry I ruined it for you. We're going to get banned on this one.
And we're done. Thanks for listening to Decentralized Now. It's been great.
Yeah, you can check this episode out on Breaker, but you can't check it out on YouTube. It's gone.
Shut it down.
I've got to be careful, too. They already fucking threatened us with a permanent ban. They're like, look, next time this happens, and nowhere in this entire episode do we say anything, like, offensive. We're just like, I won't say what we talked about because I don't want to get it banned, but it was so stupid, man. It was such an innocent talk. But you just...
a lot of people are going to... What?
It just, mention it in a positive way.
We didn't mention it in a positive way. We didn't mention it.
How about this? Let's recover. Praise Israel and praise Zionism.
There you go.
And Allah. Allah's the man.
Did we save it? Did we save it?
I think so.
I think...
All right, cool.
I think it's a good thing for all these, social media companies like YouTube, like Facebook, like Twitter. I think you're going to see the state push back, and I'm not for that kind of thing. But what they're going to do is lose the protections that social media companies enjoy, allow them to be able to shadow ban people based on what they say, or censor or editorialize what people's tweets and stuff. And that's something that's going to hurt them. But it's coming their way, and they're only making it happen quicker. And it kind of needs to, because look. There's a whole segment of society that's underrepresented online now because they banned them all.
It's book burning. It's book burning.
Exactly.
That's
it's 2020 book burning.
So I can't print my memes online, so I print them on my shirts.
Well, and I think it puts libertarians in a weird position because nationalists, Alex Jones is a great example. I don't know if you can call him a nationalist, but I'll use him as a prime example. Who's being taken off Twitter, being taken off of YouTube, which is basically a large portion of his audience. Which, if the government did that, well, we would be all up in arms about it. But libertarians are like, well, if it's a private company, then that's fine.
I've got a libertarian argument against that. I totally do, actually. If you were Google or say Verizon, right? And Verizon has a platform where you're using their cell phones, and they went, hey, look, we're listening to your private conversations. We just censored you mid-conversation with your buddy. Went, oh, nope, this is fake news. We're going to not even let you listen to the rest of this, or only listen to it if you choose to, because we've chosen to editorialize on top of this. It would be an extreme violation of your privacy and civil rights and free speech, right? So we don't allow the phone companies to do stuff like that. Why should an open forum on the internet be treated any different? It's like me yelling in a crowded square. So, I mean, yeah, you own the platform and you should be able to control it. Having said that, Verizon owns their platform too, and they can't censor my phone calls.
Yeah,
This is
but
the same thing.
It's like the solution I like is like zero net, where I'm in control of who I do not want to see. So it's like if I don't like someone's content, I can just blacklist them and continue on my way.
That's true. There's personal responsibility to block people you don't want to communicate with. I do want to ask this because a lot of people are listening and they're interested. Okay, so this guy's swastika was a joke, but is it really a joke? Like, so, and you said we don't have to answer this question, but how would you describe your beliefs? Your philosophy, your political ideology, if you can. How would you describe yourself?
I would like to say I'm an American nationalist in my mind. That's how I would describe it.
And what does that mean?
Well, I mean, they have National Socialism for Germany, right? People think, oh, you're National Socialist, you want to resurrect Germany? Well, I feel very nationalist values towards America. I want it to be America first, not having, intervention in all these other countries and, be more independent and not dependent on everyone else. I think that companies that get rich because they're American companies should have their country's interest at heart, at least a little bit, not just taking their money and keeping it, tax-free in some other country and not contributing anything. Like, if you're so proud to be an American citizen and you hold citizenship here, what are you doing for the country that allowed you to get rich?
You're currently listening to the best podcast in the whole fucking universe.
Decentralize now.
No, I think it's really interesting that, every other podcast is talking about, the George Floyd protests. We're on, the other end of the spectrum right now.
Well, I mean, not really. Not really.
Go ahead.
I mean, it does come back, yeah.
It's all about racism, right? Racism. Look how they deal with racism. One white guy did one thing, world famous. Then you have the Great Chimp Out, and none of them are being doxxed. None of them are being persecuted. None of them are having their website shut down. None of them are getting death threats.
Well, would you say they would say that they are from the? They're saying they are from the police. Would you say that they're getting that kind of threats from the police? They're saying that they're getting beat up and murdered. So would you see kind of their argument that they are getting that from the police officers?
I could see people prank calling them and screwing with them. I mean, by all means, there's probably a lot of people online or people not online that think it would be a fun joke to just prank call people and say shit. Why not?
No, Gunner, I think I interrupted you. Go ahead.
I think reasonable people don't believe that, answering calls to violence with more violence, or answering a violent act with more calls to violence and then committing to those acts of violence is, is exactly fair or right, or definitely, or ethical in any way, to try to say, hey, look, these guys are burning it down. So what I'm going to do is other people and I'm going to burn it down for them. That's kind of messed up. For 20 years I've been on board demilitarize the police bandwagon. I've been very against police brutality. It's what started my whole page online. And now I'm seeing people go well, this is the police's fault. And I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't make what they're doing right. And it's now gone been longer than a week and it's still happening. This isn't about racism anymore. It's not about class warfare anymore. This is an organized attempt to push a leftist doctrine on the country, and they're using this tragedy to do it and vilifying their opponents while doing it. And I'm seeing big businesses and small businesses alike just jump on board and dick ride with it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. If the issue I have is that it should be, if they could just make the protest be about police brutality, then even I could get on board and I would be out there protesting with them. But it's not. And they even tell the little lefty Antifa kids, go home. This is not for you. This is for black people only.
Got caught putting bricks out there. There's videos online of them driving bricks out there, of them handing them out to people. They've set up and staged this. Antifa has.
And Antifa knows what they're doing. They have their little documents that spread around. They are terrorists. Whether they're organized or not, they have their little...
Organized is irrelevant. If you look up here, wait, let me do it really quick. The dictionary definition of terror.
Well, after you do that, I want to jump in, but I don't want to interrupt the thing. So after
Okay, it says
I'll ask a question.
the unlawful use of violence and intimidation, especially against civilians, in the pursuit of political aims. Does not mention organization at all. ISIS wasn't
There you
organized.
go.
Al Qaeda wasn't organized. Organization has nothing to do with it.
Now, Shekel. So in this time right now, where we have these riots going on, and this shit's been going on for a while. It's been going on since 2000. Like racial tension is always high, but it's not like this stuff came out of nowhere. What people are dying. They're burning down churches. Do you think that there's any validity to the idea that we need to be kind of racially sensitive, to be sensitive of the environment? As an example, maybe as an analogy, and I'm just using this to get good content, just playing devil's advocate, of course.
No, absolutely not. We don't need to be sensitive.
I just want to finish this one. If you were in a room full of gas, maybe you would have the right to light the match. But what about the consequences of what happens to the room around you? Do you think you have any responsibility in that sense?
I don't know. I think if it clears the gas, then that might be a good thing because everyone else could breathe after the initial explosion.
Isn't that exactly what just happened, though?
That's a
the
great
gas
quote.
was filled in the room by this police officer who killed George Floyd. He created the gas, right? And who lit the match, though? It wasn't the right dude. It was the protesters on the left who became rioters. That's your analogy is exactly what they did. Everybody was in agreement with them. Everybody was like, look, we agree this is horrible. Even Trump was like, this is bad. And what happened? There was accountability almost immediately. He was charged with murder, third degree, then second degree. And they'll probably end up moving it up to first, you watch. But everybody agreed. And then what they did, they went, burn it down anyways. That match analogy is perfect to describe exactly what Antifa and the leftist terrorists did.
Yep.
So, what are kind of your plans going forward? What do you see your activism like in the future?
I don't know. I mean, once you hit world famous, what do you do after that?
You rake it in.
I'm just gonna put cruise control on and keep on carrying on. I mean, I enjoy my little Facebook echo chamber and meeting new people on occasion, but I'm just gonna keep on doing what I do. Shit posting and having a good time. Like, I'm not gonna let them stop me.
That's cool, man. Well,
I mean, I haven't posted anything. Like, if I was really that bad, wouldn't I be banned from Facebook?
That's true.
Facebook recently took a stance, they say, against it. Like, they were like, look, we're not going to censor as much, even though they will still. Said that we're not going to do that anymore. And then they got a bunch of a virtual walkout. So that's maybe one of the only platforms where you're going to less likely to be censored right now.
I mean, they're going to censor us either way, but it's just knowing the rules. I mean, as long as you play within the rules, you're going to be fine. Like, I've had the same accounts forever.
Now, Shekel, we can cut this out in post because we're not recording. This isn't a live program, so if you don't want to talk about this. Yeah. But hopefully you can still make enough memes to get Joe Jorgensen into the White House, because every meme you give us, people tend to like, so we appreciate your meme magic.
Oh, well, I just, carpe diem. I see the opportunity. I feel inspired. I do it. It's like Bob Ross in oil paintings.
So put a happy little swastika over here.
I mean, did you notice the swastikas in those clowns I posted?
I did not. No, I don't think I did.
Hold on. Let me see if I can throw it on there. Anyway, so I'll make plenty of memes for Bojo Jorgensen, because I don't know, I just saw the BoJack Horseman and I saw her name and it just I was like, I have to make this for some reason. It's just funny.
Well, thanks for coming on, man. I know, like you said, we've been trying this for a few weeks. I know you have a lot coming on. So you had some security concerns, which I absolutely get. But as soon as I saw it on my Facebook feed, I was like, I have to reach out to this guy because, at least from my perspective, and I wanted this to be more about you, but from my perspective, people just exploited it, and they did it for monetary reasons. They wanted to abuse you, basically, because they know this isn't a declaration of support for the Nazi party. They know what you're trying to get at, but they just wanted to abuse you, and they wanted to hurt your family, and they wanted to infringe on your free speech rights and divert what you were trying to get at, which is the fucking tyrannical laws about this coronavirus hoax.
Well, I mean, there's people protesting and rioting, and I have not seen an abundance of masks. But yet I'm here in California, locked in my house. Thank you, Governor Newsom.
But is there anything else you want to say, like kind of final words for anybody? If you could sum up your protest in the closing remark, what would it be?
I just hope that people who are angry and want to get a message out could use something like the swastika to get their message out rather than using violence.
Damn. Oh, cheers to that.
Because I proved that you could be worldwide famous without committing any crime or hurting anyone.
Can't
That's
argue
the
with that, can
libertarian
you?
way.
I mean, I don't think of a more American thing to do than that. So, Americans are, cowboy up, fuck you if you're offended, but here's my damn message and you fucking heard it, didn't you?
Well, you've been listening to Decentralized Now, and this will still be in Season 2. Season 2 is winding down. So this is a heads up. We're going to post some links in the description to check out Shekels merchandise if you want to support him or just kind of browse what he has to offer. Also, June 18th, we're going to be joining Murder the Media. We're very excited about that. That's going to be the launch of Season 3. We'll be live streaming on Facebook and also on DLive TV. Now, none of us know how DLive TV actually fucking works, but we will by then. So be sure to subscribe and check out all the other programs on Murder the Media. So thanks for listening to Decentralized Now, and we'll see you soon.
Absolutely.